The F-35B is one of the most fascinating pieces of modern aviation engineering. Ever created a fighter jet that not only pushes the boundaries of stealth and performance, but also completely redefines what a combat aircraft can do on the battlefield. It is part of the F-35 Lightning II family, but what makes the B variant so extraordinary is its short takeoff and vertical landing capability, a feature that allows it to operate from ships, small runways, or even improvised landing zones where traditional jets would have no chance of taking off or landing safely. This single feature alone elevates it from being just another advanced fighter into a game-changing platform that gives militaries unparalleled flexibility in where and how they can project air power. When you look at the design of the F-35B, the first thing you notice is how sleek and angular it appears. Those sharp edges, carefully aligned surfaces, and slightly unusual curves aren't there just to look futuristic. They're all part of the stealth design. Every line, every contour is engineered to scatter radar waves and reduce the aircraft's radar. To radar operators, the F-35B doesn't look like a conventional aircraft. It appears smaller, harder to track, and in some cases, almost invisible. Which gives pilots a critical advantage in hostile environments where being detected first often determines the outcome of an engagement. At its heart, the F-35B is powered by the Pratt & Whitney F-135 engine, one of the most powerful jet engines ever put into a fighter. This engine produces around 40,000 pounds of thrust. But what makes it remarkable is how it works with the aircraft. S-lift, fan and swiveling exhaust nozzle to make vertical landings possible. When it transitions into vertical mode, a shaft-driven lift fan behind the cockpit opens up, providing downward thrust, while the main exhaust nozzle at the back swivels downward to balance the aircraft. The wings and smaller roll nozzles handle stability during this process. The entire system is so advanced that the pilot doesn't need to manage each component manually. The flight control computer does the heavy lifting, making it feel surprisingly intuitive for the person in the cockpit. Imagine the complexity of keeping a 30-ton jet perfectly balanced in mid, and then realize that the pilot is free to focus on flying the mission, while the onboard systems handle the mechanics of hovering and landing. Performance-wise, the F-35B is no slouch despite the added weight and complexity of the vertical landing system. It can reach speeds of around Mach 1.6, which is over 1,200 miles per hour. And it has a combat radius of more than 450 nautical miles, allowing it to strike deep into enemy territory without Its range can be extended further with aerial refueling, making it adaptable to both long-range missions and short-range operations from forward-deployed bases. While at ISNT the fastest or most agile jet when compared to pure air superiority fighters like the F-22, Raptor its edge lies in the fact that it combines stealth, advanced sensors, and multi-role flexibility into a single platform. One of the defining features of the F-35B and the entire F-35 family is its sensor fusion technology. Inside the cockpit, the pilot isn't overwhelmed by dozens of dials and switches like in older jets. Instead, they're presented with a single, streamlined display that combines data from radar, infrared sensors, electronic warfare systems, and even feeds from other aircraft or satellites. The pilot doesn't just see what's in front of them. They see a complete picture of the entire battle space, including threats beyond visual range. This kind of situational awareness is often described as a sixth sense, giving F-35 pilots the ability to detect and act before the enemy even knows they're there. Supporting this is the distributed aperture system, a network of cameras placed around the aircraft that provides the pilot with 360-degree coverage. With the help of the specialized helmet, the pilot can literally look through the aircraft. If they glance down, they don't see the floor of the cockpit. They see the ground far below. If they look to the side, they see the environment outside in real time. This makes the F-35B incredibly effective in both air-to-air combat and ground attack missions, since threats can be tracked from any angle without blind spots. The helmet itself is an engineering marvel, custom-fitted for each pilot, projecting crucial flight and targeting information directly onto the visor, essentially replacing the traditional heads-up display. In terms of weapons, the F-35B carries its primary load inside internal bays to maintain stealth. These bays can house a combination of air-to-air missiles like the AIM-120 AMRAAM or precision-guided bombs such as the J. by keeping its weapons inside. The aircraft minimizes radar reflections that would occur if weapons were mounted externally. However, when stealth isn't as critical, the F-35B can also carry additional weapons on external pylons, significantly increasing its firepower for missions where maximum payload is more important than remaining undetected. It has this flexibility that allows the F-35B to operate in multiple roles as a stealthy strike aircraft in the opening stages of a conflict, or as a heavily armed multi-role fighter once air defenses have been weakened. The aircraft's electronic warfare capabilities are another area where it shines. Beyond just avoiding radar detection, it can actively jam enemy systems, collect signals intelligence, and even act as a command and control node for other aircraft. Think of it as not just a fighter jet, but also a flying data hub that can share information across the battlefield in real time. This makes it a force multiplier, enhancing the effectiveness of every other friendly aircraft, ship, or ground unit connected to the network. From a design perspective, the F-35B had to overcome some incredible engineering challenges. The vertical landing system required significant modifications compared to the F-35, the conventional takeoff version. Engineers had to design a fuselage that could accommodate the lift fan. While still maintaining stealth characteristics, they had to make sure the aircraft could remain stable during hover, even in crosswinds or when transitioning between modes. Every pound mattered because the additional hardware for vertical flight adds weight, which in turn affects fuel efficiency and payload capacity. Balancing all of this without compromising on stealth or overall performance required years of innovation, testing, and refinement. Another unique selling point of the F-35B is its ability to operate from amphibious assault ships, which are far smaller than traditional aircraft carriers. This means navies that don't have access to supercarriers can still deploy fifth-generation stealth fighters at sea. The U.S. Marine Corps, for example, can turn amphibious ships into miniature carriers, giving them the ability to project power far from home shores, without relying on larger carrier strike groups. For allied nations like the United Kingdom, in Italy, which use the F-35B on ships like the HMS Queen Elizabeth and the Cavour, it represents a major leap forward in naval aviation, bringing capabilities once reserved for superpowers within reach of smaller but highly capable navies. The maintenance and support side of the F-35B is also worth mentioning. While the program has faced criticism for high costs and complex logistics, the jet was designed with modular systems to simplify repairs and upgrades. Many components can be swapped out quickly, and the software-driven nature of the aircraft means new capabilities can be added through updates rather than requiring entirely new hardware. Over its lifetime, the F-35B is expected to evolve, with improvements to sensors, weapons, compatibility, and even stealth coatings, ensuring it stays ahead of emerging threats well into the future. Pilots who have transitioned to the F-35B often describe it as surprisingly easy to fly, given its complexity. The flight control software is so advanced that it smooths out much of the workload, letting pilots concentrate on mission execution rather than basic aircraft handling. The vertical landing capability, which would have been nearly impossible for a human to manage unaided in earlier eras, is made relatively seamless by the automated systems. This doesn't mean it's simple, but compared to legacy aircraft, the F-35B feels like stepping into the future where machines handle the mechanics and humans handle the strategy. Critics often point out the cost of the F-35 program, and indeed, it is one of the most expensive military projects ever undertaken. Development has taken decades, and challenges with software, logistics, and performance benchmarks have been widely reported. However, the end result is an aircraft that combines so many roles into one that it effectively replaces multiple older platforms. Instead of separate fleets for air superiority, strike missions, and electronic warfare, the F-35B can adapt to all of them, reducing the long-term need for specialized aircraft. In a sense, the upfront investment is offset by the operational flexibility it brings. What's also striking about the F-35B is its global reach. It isn't just an American aircraft. It's part of a multinational program involving numerous allied nations. Each country gets access to cutting-edge technology while also contributing to the shared development, ensuring interoperability during joint operations. When allied forces fly the same aircraft with the same systems, communication and coordination on the battlefield become far smoother. This creates a powerful deterrent effect, as adversaries know they aren't just facing one nation, capabilities, but a coalition of nations with seamlessly integrated fifth-generation fighters. 4. Ground troops. The arrival of the F-35B overhead can be a lifesaver. Its ability to loiter, gather intelligence, and deliver precision strikes means soldiers on the ground get unparalleled support. Because of its stealth, it can operate closer to hostile defenses than older jets, delivering weapons with pinpoint accuracy while staying outside the range of many surface-to-air missile systems. Combined with its sensor suite, it can also pass along targeting data to artillery or other aircraft, making it a central node in a broader network of strike capabilities. In combat exercises and war games, the F-35B has consistently demonstrated how its advanced systems change the dynamics of air combat. Pilots report kill ratios heavily in favor of the F-35 when pitted against older fourth-generation fighters. This isn't just because of its stealth, but because it can detect threats and fire missiles long before the opponent even knows it as being tracked. In many simulated battles, the opposing force never even saw the F-35 before being declared a kill, showcasing the advantage of information dominance over raw speed or maneuverability. From an industrial and technological standpoint, the F-35B represents a new era where software is just as important as hardware. The aircraft's performance isn't only measured by how fast it can fly or how many weapons it can carry, but by how quickly its software can be updated to adapt to new threats. This makes it more like a smartphone in the sky, constantly receiving upgrades that expand its capabilities, ensuring it doesn't become obsolete as quickly as previous generations of jets. The F-35B embodies the concept of versatility. It can launch from a short stretch of road hover into a landing zone close to frontline forces, take off from the deck of a ship, or streak across the sky on a stealth strike mission deep inside contested airspace. It combines the role of a fighter, bomber, reconnaissance aircraft, an electronic warfare platform, all while maintaining an edge and survivability through stealth and cutting-edge technology. For militaries around the world, that level of adaptability is invaluable, particularly as conflicts shift away from conventional battlefields to more dispersed and unpredictable environments. As technology continues to evolve, the F-35B is positioned not just as a weapon of today, but as a platform for the future. Its modular systems, network design, and adaptability mean it can be upgraded to counter threats that don't even exist yet. This is what sets it apart as not just another fighter jet, but as an entire ecosystem of air power wrapped into a single aircraft, ensuring it remains relevant for decades to come.